Hello there and welcome to the new channel.
Here to help you see
The new you.
My name is Carmine Ortega.
Dennis Calamba.
This is Nato Agbayani.
My name is Juan Lu.
I'm Chino.
I'm Trisha.
This is Apple Manansada.
This is Attorney Carlo Ibanez.
This is Attorney Sheila Santiago.
This is Angie.
This is Argamit.
My name is Dante Salama.
This is Jesse Francis Rebastillo.
I'm Dania Cunha.
Mon Mendoza.
I am Mapet Erhino.
I'm Leo Bryan. Mike.
Nice to be here.
Sir Al Ian Barcelona.
Marvin Salazar. This is Sunny Haldon.
Heidi Lumainos.
This is Ivan Jude.
Patrick Geronimo.
Alan Perez.
My name is Erwin Ursua.
My name is Bob.
My name is Lloyd Luna and this is
Future.
The Talk.
Family Business.
The Puppet Stories.
After Shift.
PNC Town Hall.
YOLO.
Marketplace.
The Home Buyer.
HR Hotline.
Danny Art Show.
Healthline.
Foreign Affairs.
COVID Stories.
Awesome Day Show.
Thank you.
Money and More.
Cybernext.
Women at Work.
Win Within.
Fort Project.
The Big Picture.
Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you. Sometimes life makes you blind and you choose something bad. You just wanna cry and hide and save your face from the crowd. But sometimes life makes you see the beauty in you and me. When you look up above, there is God and there is love. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new. We're here to help you see the newness of life. We're here to help you feel your hope is so real. You got the power to see. We'll help you see the new you. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello everyone and welcome to The New Channel. Here to help you see the new you. My name is Bob and this is The Fort Project. Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the show. This is the Ford Project, where we talk about money, business, and life. My name is Bob, your host for tonight. It is the 28th day for the month of November 2020, if I'm not mistaken. We're broadcasting live via Facebook, and simultaneously tonight, we're broadcasting over at YouTube. You can like, share, and follow us on this page, the new channel TNT. And of course, simultaneously, again, on YouTube. And you can follow us on Instagram. We're also on Instagram, the new channel TNC. And you can see different hosts and programs and shows on this beautiful channel. And of course, if you want to get into the show later on, if you have insights, questions, messages, anything, don't forget we can do interaction later on the comment section down below. And of course, share this to your friends, family, and loved ones. If you're celebrating anything that's really, really special today, anniversary, birthday, just like my mom who's celebrating her 71st, 72nd birthday back in Australia, in Melbourne. A lot of you, congratulations for another year. So stay safe, stay healthy, and stay beautiful, and stay happy. All right, to my mom who's actually in Australia. So thank you so much for celebrating it with us tonight right here on the show. And again, I'm excited for this episode. Again, this is the second season of the show. It's episode 9 right here tonight on TNC, and glad to be back here on this great Saturday weekend, and hope everyone's doing good, especially back in the Philippines, especially down south, because my guest is actually from down south. When I say down south, it's not just the Visayas region. It's all the way down to the Mindanao area, which is Davao. All right. So I'm actually from the south, but not that south. Quezon Province, Lucena, and San Pablo City, Laguna. And, of course, we're going to be talking about with my guest a little bit later on. And we're going to be picking his brain when we talk about building a brand in the restaurant business. All right. But before that, I'd like to say thank you to the awesome group of TNT, the new channel, for conducting a show earlier where we actually try and call out Filipinos who can actually make a donation for Cagayan. And as you all know, Cagayan has been really, really devastated by the typhoon and the floods, and also Tuguegarao. So we did a great show earlier, and I think we raised close to 60,000 or 70,000 pesos to actually help out our friends and fellow Filipinos back in Cagayan and back in Tuguegarao. So thank you, congratulations, and to all the participants, volunteers, thank you so much. And there you go. All right, so hopefully we can do more of that within a few more weeks and episodes on different. There you go. On the screen, you can see that Ilaw para sa Cagayan, which we did live stream earlier, fundraising campaign to purchase solar lamps for Cagayan Valley communities. So it did happen earlier. I think there's going to be a part 2, if I'm not mistaken. So on the screen, those are the information that you might want to know. So there's going to be there's another one later on, 10:30 p.m. Part 2. Okay. All right. So yeah, you can share your blessings, and there you go. We have the AFI GCash phone number, PayMaya BPI account, and another account number right there of AFI if you want to make a donation. So I'm calling and pleading to your kind hearts, all right, to help out our fellow Filipinos back in Cagayan and also parts of Tuguegarao, the north part of the Philippines. So thank you so much for all the people who donated their time, effort, money for this, and we can still pray for again people from Cagayan, and within the following weeks, because it's gonna be Christmas soon, and just imagine how these Filipinos are going to be celebrating Christmas without home, without maybe loved ones. All right. But I don't want to be sad for the rest of the evening. I just want to be really put the message out there that we're actually doing our part right here on TNT, and plus different groups and communities to actually help out people from Cagayan. All right. So speaking of which, I'm I think I'm gonna be hungry with my guest tonight, because we're gonna be talking about restaurants. So let me just give you a little bit of a background of my guest before we actually call in. Um, he is 31 years old, living in Davao City, Philippines, born Ilocano from Batac Ilocos Norte, but have spent majority of his life here in the South. A registered nurse, but not have not practiced his profession because of an opportunity to build a business. First presented himself or himself and took the shot. A jack of many trades, musician, magician, artist, content creator, a businessman. But he only managed to become an expert with a full time in business. A businessman, he may be considered as a restaurateur since most of the businesses he's involved with are restaurants. He's been at it with business partners since as far back as 2010 and never looked back. He is motivated when he sees businesses grow and develop because of the work that he does. He feels fulfilled when he see patrons have relationships with the brands, and this is why he loved the restaurant industry as well. The human touch and the interaction that build through the food and the stories that tell. He always believes success is all about seizing the uh, opportunity first. Experience taught him well, but he would not be here if he hadn't been courageous enough to take the crazy jump with his friends 10 years ago when God presented with a shot not everyone can get in their lifetime. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Diokno, Tabbada, or better known as JOKOY.
Hi, good evening, Bob.
Hey, good evening to you. First things first, thank you for taking the time to be here on the podcast, on the show. And I know you're a very, very, very busy guy, and it's nice to have you here on the program. How are you? How's the family?
Yeah, pretty basic. I'm stuck at home just like everyone else. Kind of away from family because my parents are residing in Manila. So I'm left here with my brother and sister in Davao City. So yeah.
Right. But I mean, just like in Cagayan, what happened? I mean, is everything okay in Davao down south over there because of the typhoon?
Oh yeah, yeah. We weren't really affected by it. Probably a couple of rains here and there, but everything else is fine aside from COVID, of course. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
How's the movement, by the way? Are you guys required?
Movement. Yeah, there's been a ton of restrictions lately. We're trying to understand things on our own whenever a new rule comes out, but I guess it's all for the better.
Right.
But so far, there's been a lot of changes in the way things are moving, and as businessmen, we're just trying to adapt and read the situation. So that's what it is.
hmm Okay, so let me first start this part. Okay, how many brands and how many restaurant is actually under your belt?
Um, uh, Now for brands that I co-founded or I co-owned, I could name four. There's K Steak Unlimited. That's the
hmm
first one we ever built back in 2011 ish.
hmm
And then following that was Cucina Ilocana. That's the one that I'm working on with my family. And then after that, we opened up another steakhouse called Calves Steakside. It's sort of located down south in Davao City. The other one is right up north. And then most recently, another store that we've opened just last year with my friends also. It's called Jim Hopper's Philippines, and it's a pizza parlor.
Wow.
Yep.
So that's like a total of four?
Four brands, yeah.
Four. Okay. And the first one, that's the one which has been in operational for the past 10 years, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right. So earlier on your bio, you're a nurse, RN. You're
Yeah.
supposed to go abroad. So viewers and the people who might be watching and listening to this episode maybe later on would
Mhm.
like to know. Okay, what goes into your head at that time? Because the mindset of registered nurse or RN students
Yeah.
or nurse students are the idea is to go abroad. and earn a ton of money, and then maybe go back here. And that's the only time that they're going to be putting up a business. But you, on the other hand, after graduating or during school, you like you said on the bio, the opportunity is there, so why not grab it? So what happened?
So yeah, this is what happened. Not a lot of people know this actually about me. So whoever's watching, I hope you learned something from it. What happened was, yeah, it's true. Nursing back in 2006 was a really popular course, and I took it because of the very reason that you said, to work a bit here, or get some experience, work abroad, earn some money, and then when I'm capable, come back here and do some business. But that was the end goal, having a business in the end. But there's also a backstory to why I had that end goal, because I could have just had an end goal where I concentrated on earning something from abroad and then investing it in real estate here, getting a family of my own, and living life, right? But somewhere along the way, while I was a fresh graduate, something happened along the way that changed my mindset into just thinking about settling for that dream of buying your own house now, into settling with a business or running a business empire, if you want to call it. What happened was, I was sitting in my room, right, and my dad came in with a book. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this book, Bob. It's a book by Robert Kiyosaki. Can you guess what it is?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Exactly. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So my dad came into the room and had this book, right? He just bought it from National Bookstore or something. And he told me that I should read that book. He hasn't read that book, by the way. He told me I should read that book because I might learn something about saving money. Right? Little did he know that book was not about saving money, but spending your money. But spending your money the right way, making it work for you, right? And that changed my whole view of how money should work. And so getting that idea of putting your money into something that would make it work for you and make it produce more money for you got me into that state of mind that, hey, I want to do business with the money that I'm going to earn. So that's where I got the end game mindset that I should be engaged in a business later on in life. And then suddenly, during the review season for the board exams, I was looking with my brother. I was looking for an opportunity to earn some extra cash, right? So we were looking for inspiration, and what inspired us to start, and we ended up actually with cooking steamed buns, siopao, as we call it in the Philippines.
Right.
We ended up cooking steamed buns and supplying stores with steamed buns back then. But that idea came from another inspiration, which not a lot of people know about me, is that I have a brother, my late brother. He died a few years ago. He was the first one in my family to have shown how to work around the business world. I wasn't born in a family of businessmen. Okay, I was born in a family of people who appreciated education, who appreciated the 9-to-5 hustle, right?
Right.
And getting your degree, getting your positions right, and earning. So seeing my brother do his thing actually inspired me to start with something small while I was waiting for the board exams to happen. And you're not gonna believe this, but the first business that my family got ever involved in through my brother was selling, get this, fish balls.
What?
Seriously, like the ones you see in school, motorcycle, sidecar, cooking oil, fishball, that kind of thing. And I, coming from a family of educated people who worked for the United Nations and whatnot, having a family member with outside a school gate with a sidecar cooking fish balls is something really unusual. But that was inspiring to me because from from that business, he built it into a bigger kiosk, which got the recognition of the school that he was selling in, and that gave him the opportunity to sell inside and make his network bigger. And but sadly, he passed away because of cancer. So basically, we're just taking that inspiration and did our thing with the steam buns. And after that, after the steam buns went on a roll, my friends took notice. My best friends since high school, who were also my classmates in college, were all waiting for the board exam to happen. The steam buns business caught their attention, and they wanted to partner with me, and that's how it started. And we talked about it after the board exams, and then the opportunity that you mentioned earlier that presented itself to us was that while we were talking about grouping together to make the steam bun business a little bigger, the father of one of my best friends came into the conversation and lent us some money to start a business. And then the money was, I could say it was too much for to start a steam bun business. So we thought, yeah, why not just do a full-on restaurant and run away with it? So yeah, that was the opportunity. And since that was our end goal, but since the opportunity presented itself to us like earlier on, we kind of had like to choose: should we like fulfill the career that we were set to accomplish or to take, or should we, or are we even able to take this opportunity and plant it and make it grow? So that's where it began.
And that's going to be my next question. But before you answer that, this time we're going to be pausing for a quick break. And of course, episode 9, season 2 tonight, right here on the podcast, The Fort Project, where we talk about money, business, and life. My special guest is actually from down south Davao. I just love, because I feel that whenever I say JOKOY, I'm calling the the Filipino American stand-up comedian. But nope, not this time, not tonight. But my guest is a businessman, all right, restaurateur, all right, restaurant owner, all right. So my question, sige, mamaya na lang, no? So we're going to be pausing for a break, and we'll be coming right back with more. Hey, thanks a lot. Back on the show, and this time, I'd like to invite you guys to watch more shows, different shows, right here on this platform, right here on Facebook, TNC, the new channel, and of course, first things first, I'd like to invite you guys to watch the Big Picture. It's hosted by Lloyd Luna. Mondays to Fridays, 7 p.m. And we have Human Resources Management on HR Hotline Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12 noon. The Family Business is everyone's business, happening every Saturday, 4 p.m. Live, of course, Beauty Beyond What Your Eyes Can See, Usapang Beauty, on a weekend, Saturday, 5:30 p.m. Time to hear positive stories from those who recovered. COVID Story Saturdays, streaming live every 10:30 a.m. Life's Purpose and Turnaround Stories, U-Turn Mondays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. Build your own property, build and own a property. The Home Buyer, hosted by Mr. Dante Salamat, Mondays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Laugh and learn from puppetry, arts around the world, the puppet stories, Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Magbenta, bumili at tumulong dahil bukas na ang TNC Marketplace. An online night bazaar Thursdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. And of course, Know Your Rights, ang ating mga kabatas, the Basic Law, YOLO, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. And we have this one, Learn About Money and More, Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. Philippine time and 5:30 USA time. Two leaders in one platform, TNT The Talk, Mondays at 12 noon. Chill and Boost after shift, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Strategize and Win in live through Win Within, Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. And Danny Art Show happening every Friday at 5:30 p.m. And we have this one, Foreign Affairs, hosted by none other than the husband of Pokwang. Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. And of course, because health is wealth, Healthline happening Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Celebrate Women at Work, 9 a.m. Saturdays. And always have an awesome day with Ian Barcelona, 2:30 p.m. on a Monday. CyberNext empowers people and companies to be secured in the digital world. Wednesdays at 12 noon. Know your emerging technologies shaping our future. TechU happening every Friday at 2:30 p.m. And of course, learn and know more about market leaders on Tuesdays and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. And a whole lot more shows. Okay, a couple of more here. Well Home brings you to a Well Life Tuesdays and Saturdays, streaming at 2:30 p.m. More about copying and coupling. We also have a new show, Couple Goals, Wednesdays at 5:30 p.m. And you can also catch TNC original shows. One Day a Live Storytelling alternates with TNC Town Hall, co-hosted by TNC founders Lloyd Luna and Apple Manansala, a show where we talk to you, our valued audience. And of course, more upcoming shows on TNC that will truly inspire you. Please follow our channel on Facebook and YouTube and let us help you see the new you. Parang gusto ko ulit mag-break, no? All right, here we go. Episode 9, Season 2, back on the podcast, back on the show tonight. Beautiful Saturday evening right here in Dubai, UAE. And of course, my guest back in down south, Davao, JOKOY, back on the show. So, nursing graduate, you guys waiting for the board. How did your parents took this? Because like what you said earlier before we took a break, the idea is to graduate, be an RN, maybe work abroad. But how does the parents okay, son, it's risky, it's business, you don't know what's going to happen. Are you willing to gamble, take that risk, or you want to, like you said, pursue your course?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I remember how my parents reacted to that. I'm pretty sure, looking back, I'm pretty sure they were kind of disappointed that. Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? They paid for my education, right? And I'm just going here exactly. In this direction, right? So, but the good thing about it is they're so mature that even though they were really hesitant of letting me go on my own way, they still did. They still let me be me, and they asked the same question you just uttered. Are you ready? Can you? It's risky. Can you take it? And I just told them, this is what I've always wanted to do. This is what I aimed for. And instead of working away from you guys, working away from family, I now have the chance to establish my own business ahead of everybody else. And I just had to take it. And probably they've had enough of this talk with my brother who built his own business. So I guess they finally understood, right, back then. And it was easier for them to let it go. But of course, there was always that constant follow-up. How's the business doing? Are you sure you don't need to work outside, or you don't need to pursue nursing? Probably, you might be better off. It went on for a couple of years, but eventually they started to see through the work that we were doing, and the work spoke for itself. And the rest is history.
Well, there's, like you said, it's a 9 to 5 culture you have in the family. There's not much of somebody who you can follow in business aside from your brother. What goes into your head and the emotional process, the thought process of, okay, my parents may be right, because I don't have any experience in business. This is going to be I'm 21 years old and I'm getting into business. It's a lot of risk. So what goes into your head and the emotional process?
Right. It was a scary jump, to be honest. I mean, knowing you don't know anything about business, and you're jumping into the restaurant style of business, which is really complicated, by the way. And I just learned it the hard way. It's just my thought back then was, I just embraced the opportunity, man. And I just said to myself, I am going to make this work no matter what. And I'm going to invest my time to learn. Probably the best thing that ever happened to me was that I was never hard-headed when it came to learning, because if I was, I would think of myself as someone who doesn't need to learn anything new.
Exactly.
Right. So while we were building this thing, we asked around experts like chefs, what to do, what they need, what they use in the kitchen. It was all constant learning. And to think I was hoping, the common misconception that if you're a businessman, you own your own time.
Exactly.
It's one of the biggest lies I've ever heard in my life. Right?
With the business that you have, it's restaurant. It's very, very physically demanding from 3 a.m. Up until the closing time when you open the restaurant, when you prepare everything, like the menu, the kitchen, everything, right?
Yes, exactly. Like the work, especially if you're starting at the restaurant business, is nonstop. And I think it goes the same with any other business. As long as you established it yourself, the work never stops. You close the doors, you still worry about the next day. You close the doors, you worry about what the customer said earlier. How do we make up for that? How do we fix this? How do we do that? And how do we move forward? That was one of the most challenging mental strains, by the way, that I have ever been through. Like, I never thought I was a workaholic until I came into the restaurant industry. Yes. But the good thing is the course that I took, nursing, with all the shifting that's going on with duties and stuff like that. Plus, you go out of duty from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. and then you still have to study. It kind of felt like the same grind. So it wasn't really new to us, but it was more challenging when we went into the restaurant business.
So you established tonight that for the viewers, for the young ones, for the old ones, that business, it does not come with the age, okay? It comes with the responsibility and willingness to learn, right?
Yeah.
So, because some young ones or young people might say, I'm only 21. I'm going to be going into business maybe when I'm 29, 30, 35. So it doesn't work that way. Once there's an opportunity, you might just, like you said, you're right. You need to jump, because Steve Harvey said in one of his YouTube 4-minute clip, unless you jump, you won't know your parachute if it's going to open or not. But you have to make that jump for you to find out. It might take a while, but eventually it will open. I mean, your parachute will open. So
Will open.
the first 2 years, since you did not came from the entrepreneur background of the family, what was like the first 2 years?
It was hell. Seriously, dude. I mean, um, actually, we spent like a good almost. We spent almost a year trying to build the restaurant, trying to build it, like the structure. Because we wanted to save the money that we were given, so we tried to do a lot of things with the renovation on our own. So that was physically straining, and then came opening time, probably like 6 months after we've started building. um, we started getting people in, getting customers inside, and trying to interact with people. And it finally came to a point where all the I know it just happens, all the problems in business just pile up, especially for people who did not know anything about business, just like us.
Right.
Like customer complaints. How do we deal with that? We're not HR people. We're not HRM people. And then faulty equipment. Who do we call for that? Supplies. Where do we look for them? Those things that we had to figure out. Plus, this is a big plus, especially if you're starting young. We started it when we were 21, right?
Right.
All our friends back then, no hate though, but all of our friends back then, we were looking at them on Facebook and we're like, oh man, this guy's in Cebu with his friends, hanging out, having having a time of his life, and we're here stuck in the kitchen trying to make things work. And looking at our account balances, do we still have money for next month? That kind of grind just went on for actually more than 2 years. One of the biggest questions that we've ever asked ourselves in the restaurant industry was, how long does it really take for your restaurant to take off, right? A lot of people ask that. And in the past, we were told when we were starting, just get past the first 2 years and you're okay. BS.
Also a lie.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, probably that was true back in their time.
Right.
Because, if you come to think of it, people who said that were old timers. And if you backtrack a bit, they didn't have much competition back then. So it's easier to establish your own brand when you don't have any competition. But we started off at a time where people knew business was the thing to go for. And people were starting their own businesses here and there along with us. So it was harder to make your voice stand out from all that noise that was going on with the market.
Yep. Exactly. And I usually say this during my talks. You don't get that much money when you hit the first 2 years. What you get is character building, your attitude, patience, the mindset, perspective, everything. So with that the first 24 months, most people may not know about that, but when they see an entrepreneur, uy, daming pera. But no. Yes, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a businessman maybe, but I'm still, a work in progress, right? In the Metro Manila area, I've heard statistics from Security and Exchange Commission that before a business roll, you may have to be bankrupt 3 to 4 to 5 times before your business actually rolls, because it's a Metro Manila area. You have big malls, you have big brands, right? You have big restaurants. So I'm like, it's hard. I mean, it's difficult to actually be your own boss. It's easier said than done. But so was there a time when the money is not coming in yet that, okay, guys, maybe it's about time for us to shut this whole operation, maybe go somewhere, Canada, UK, US? Was there a time that you wanted to put the towel down and throw it and okay, that's just it for me?
Yes, we actually threw in the towel once. Yeah, believe it or not, with our steak brand, and that was one of the hardest hits that we ever took, right? That was one of the hardest hits we ever took. Not a lot of people who know me know this, but we did close our brand a while back. And it was because of a series of mistakes that if we knew better, we could have avoided, right? But to talk about that a little bit, just a little bit, we started off with a brand that sold. That's why it was called Steak Unlimited at first, because we really sold unlimited steaks. Right? So from the name itself, hindi pa uso ang samgyupsal noon. There was no only Korean barbecue back then. We did it first in Davao City, and the concept, man, the concept was so unique, was so interesting that it caught the eye of Cebu Pacific. They put us in the magazine.
Wow.
Yeah. And Rated K, we caught the eye of Rated K, so they sent a team to Davao City and filmed us, the concept of the restaurant. And it took off from there, to be honest. It took off from there. But I think the most defining factor that got us in that downward spiral was we did not know how to take advantage of the opportunity that followed through after that success. Because we were trying to read the market, and we thought the market wanted something affordable, right? So we sold unlimited steaks with other food in the buffet for $179, and then we bumped it up to $189. And that's pretty cheap back in 2010, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we just thought we wanted something really good to catch people's attention, right? But then later on, when the business started to grow, we didn't want to let go of the pricing because we were afraid it might turn people off when we increase it.
Right.
And then we just didn't put into the calculation enough that every year your rent goes up, every year your men's salary goes up.
Right.
We didn't take that into consideration. Even if a huge volume of people started coming in, it will come to a point where you will not be producing enough money for you to support your business. And that's how we went down. And later on, it started slowing down. We started worrying about other things, that we left quality behind, really, really big mistakes that you shouldn't really do when you're a restaurateur. And, and I did it. But it came to the point that you act exactly as you described it. Do we have enough money to go on? We didn't. We just had enough money to give as the last salary for our teams. That was the hardest thing to do, man. To look them in the eye and say, we're sorry we failed you.
We're closing down.
Go on. We're closing down. And we were on a hiatus for a couple of months, but just a couple of months. My family was developing Cucina Ilocana, and I learned a lot from my mistakes in Steak Unlimited. So I transitioned everything and tried to exercise my know-how, or what I've learned, into the family business, Cucina Ilocana, which specializes in Ilocano food, right? And then my friends who I partnered with went on with their lives as well. Looked for jobs, applied, and stuff like that. And yeah. And funny thing is, they didn't get the jobs. Right. So it got us thinking, you know what? Or probably it was just us trying to convince ourselves to continue. We got thinking, you know what? Probably we're really meant to work together on this thing. That's why we're not getting success in any other area, and so we tried to review what we can do with the money that was left.
Okay.
And we started everything from the concept. We knew better. We were more mature now. And I guess that's one thing that you guys have to remember if you're starting early. The stress might bring you down, but you really have to be mature enough to take that mistake and use it to improve yourself. Sometimes a lot of people fail because whenever they stumble, they already think they've lost.
Like, this is it for me.
Yeah, this is it for me. My face is on the ground. I'm all covered in dirt. Yeah, what the hell? I'm gonna leave it, right? But but that's you have to see the beauty through that experience and try to learn something new from it.
Now, when we come back, another quick break this time. This is really, really beautiful, and I want the viewers and the listeners to really take a highlight on this one: overcoming failures and what you learn from maybe quitting a little bit because what happened with your business. So, yes, he's gonna be answering that question. JOKOY on the show, episode 9, season 2 of the podcast. Another break, and please do stick by. Thanks, love. We're back here again on the show, live on TNC. This is the Fort Project, where we talk about money, business, and life. And speaking of steak, it's making me hungry actually tonight. JOKOY is still on the show, and before we actually continue, hey, buddy, you want to say hi to anyone out there? Right, like a really quick shout out. We have. In Manalo, by the way, from Team Evolution Front Row International. One of my favorite book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Darwin Manalo, hello to you. Hey, bro, what's up? And what about you, man?
I see my friends commenting on this section. Hi to my friends. Commented Marlon, Micah, and Cyrus. He used to own a cafe back here in Davao City.
Wow.
Yeah, his name's like backwards. So
right.
yeah, he's that guy. And then also my classmates who are watching, classmates in MBA class. Haha, hello.
All right, to anyone who's actually watching and maybe sharing this episode tonight, thank you, big time. I really appreciate that, guys. Now, what do you learn from struggles, from setbacks, and from maybe failures, and from that particular event that you guys actually quit? What did you learn from that?
Oh, a lot of things, like too many to mention. But
exactly.
Right. But looking back, we learned like managing your cash flow. If you're starting a business, cash flow is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have to know if you have enough physical cash to last through another day, another week, or another month.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that we overlooked before. So, and then also, we didn't really fail in this department, but ever since we've started, it's always important to put your people first.
Mm-hmm.
Those people who you're responsible for, who you're leading, your employees, your teams, you have to put them first. Especially in the restaurant industry, we're all about the experience. We're all about taking care of our customers. We're more than just the food that we serve.
Right.
It's all about the experience. And who else is going to take care of the customers other than your people, right? Mm-hmm. So if you take care of your people well enough, they will translate that kindness and generosity that you showed to them and let it flow towards the customers who will then experience your brand. And that's the experiential part. But another thing that we missed out on before that we now really value is marketing. Can't get enough of marketing. You know, it might not be common sense to some, but if the big brands out there who still do marketing, even if they've existed for hundreds of years, are still doing it, why shouldn't you? And that was one thing that we did good on the first few months of our business, but gradually we kind of sucked at it for the succeeding months. And it's important to remember that if you start a business, you should be constantly, no stopping marketing. Yeah. So those are like my biggest takeaways from that shutdown that we just had before.
In this business, you said consistency, and I would assume there's still passion in it, and you have to be at least somehow creative in marketing the products and services that you guys are actually providing to customers, right? So okay, definitely if you quit and stop, whatever goal, whatever target that you want to reach, it will never happen guarantee if you quit, right?
Yep.
But then again, of course, given the situation, the scenario, what happened, that you said, you mentioned earlier that okay, maybe it's meant for us to be together and work together as a group or a team in this restaurant. From your colleagues, from the group of people, what do you learn along the way? Because it's not just about you. I think this is more bigger than yourself, right? What do you learn from having maybe the right people in your group, in your circle?
Yeah, that's a nice way to frame it, because a lot of businesses that are started by groups, some of them end up fighting each other because they kind of disagree, right? But I was blessed enough to be working with people that are really within my vibe, for the lack of a better word. And it's really important because the decision making, the problem with some is that pride gets in the way. Pride gets in the way, right? You're trying to decide what's best for the company, and this guy thinks he knows better. Right. But thankfully, that did not exist even one bit in the corporations that I've been part of, who own these businesses. And that's one of the key things that you have to consider when you want to work with a team. And that's what I've learned along the way, that being honest to yourself, that you don't know anything any better than anyone in the room, puts you in a position where you allow creativity to flow, right? Unhindered. Because if someone has an idea and you tell him, wait, that idea doesn't sit well with me, let's skip it and try another one. That idea that you skipped could have been your moneymaker, and you skipped it because you just didn't like it. Right. So that's one of the biggest learnings that I've had in working with the groups that I've been at, and welcoming everybody's opinions, welcoming everybody's contributions. Like, for example, the way we do things, I'm in charge with the branding initiatives and the marketing initiatives. My partner's in charge with purchasing. The other one's in charge with HR. The other one is in charge with operations. So we do our thing. It's not a one-man show, just like you said.
Exactly.
It takes a band who knows how to play a song together to entertain people, right? So that's how we're kind of doing things here.
Wow, it's very, very beautiful and very insightful. And of course, so it's safe to say that, being an individual with open mind pays to listen to opinions, suggestions, ideas of other people. And what can you say about that part of you, or everyone should maybe at least try? Because in this world, in this time, when you say open-minded, people will laugh,
Mm.
right? But in any business, I cannot emphasize this enough, but you have to be an open-minded. You have to have an open mind to just listen. Okay, just listen to idea. If it doesn't work for you, well then move on.
Yeah.
But what if, just like you said, what if that idea is going to be your money maker? So, yeah, being an open-minded. A little bit more tonight on the show with your experience.
All right. So I just let me just start by saying people use a lot of things to hide their open-mindedness into a capsule, right?
Mm.
For lack of a better word, they use excuses,
Exactly.
right? To block off the things that don't want to hear. But to tell you the truth, though, you mentioned about passion earlier, right?
Mhm.
To make it clear, I'm in the restaurant business. I'm not a chef. I'm not a trained cook, and I can't even say I'm passionate about cooking.
Right.
Right. So this thing is kind of not really in line with what I'm passionate about. I only discovered what I'm passionate about while I was doing the business already. And then that passion is finding my hands, my creative side, get to work and build something out of the creativity that I'm trying to pour onto something. And this is why I'm into the marketing and branding initiatives of our companies, because that's where a lot of the creative stuff happens to sell your story to your future customers.
Right.
What I'm trying to say here is, you might not have your passion right now, right? But you might find it later. But
Exactly.
that lack of passion or that lack of reason to start shouldn't hinder you from taking that big jump. I could have just said no to my friend's dad when he gave us a couple of hundreds of thousands of pesos to start a business.
Right.
Right. I could have said no, because finishing the exam, going abroad would have been the safest choice. I could not disagree. That was the safest choice.
Right.
But I knew a part of me wanted something more than that life. Right. I knew that the trade-off of living abroad away from my family is better to disregard for me for this risk right here that I want to take. Right. So there will come a point. Sorry, I kind of stumbled over there. A point will come in your life where you're just going to ask yourself, what do you really want for yourself?
Exactly.
And are you going to let your thoughts, your hesitations stop you from getting there? Right.
Exactly. Yep.
And but I'm not downplaying those people who have seen the opportunity but didn't take it, because of course risk assessment is subjective. Some people like this risk, some people don't. But if you're listening, if you're watching and you want to be an entrepreneur, you're not getting anywhere without taking that first step.
There you go. 3 words, TRY. You got to try. And what is the worst thing that could happen if you just try, right? And hey, bro, JOKOY. Couple of final questions here before we actually let you go. Like I said, 60 minutes is not enough. I still have a lot of questions, and I am getting pumped and excited with the whole energy. I feel it all the way from Davao to Dubai. All right, I like the energy, love the energy. So okay, what is money and what is success for you?
Well, money for me is a tool that you can do whatever you want to with. But of course, with any other tool, you have to be responsible in handling it, because we all know money can buy weapons that can make or break a nation, but also money can buy supplies to feed the hungry. So that's what it is. It's a tool, right? Success for me, well, success for me is subjective, right? For me, I don't drive. I don't own $1 million house. I don't drive $1 million dollar car, but I already feel happy and contented, and that for me is one of the biggest successes that I've had in my life, knowing that I took the risk earlier, right? Which I could have spent the time working for years and then another couple of years struggling to establish the business. I got to start earlier and started to slowly settle down, right, in life. And that for me is enough to consider myself successful. But of course, it's a subjective thing. But then again, like I said, ask yourself, what do you want really for yourself in the end? And you have to be brave enough and willing enough to let go of the inhibitions, the hesitations that you have for you to get there.
And I'd like to point out this one last thing right here. If you start early in whatever what you want to put a business, you want to put a restaurant, you want to go to the gym, you want to join that bodybuilding company, whatever that is, okay? When you start early, you have plenty of time to adjust and, think of, resolving any problems that will come along your way, right? So start early, take that risk, and be knowledgeable in the process. And like what we used to say in the entrepreneurship, trust the process. Bro, it's been an honor to have you here on the show, and you will definitely be back here maybe on the third season
Cool.
of the show, of the podcast, just to give us, what's been happening within the next couple of months, maybe. I don't know. And we're looking forward to hear from you again. But before we let you go, what are the platforms that maybe, somebody out there would want to ask questions, get in touch with you? Instagram, Facebook. Yes, go ahead, please.
All right. So if you guys have any questions about business, especially in the restaurant and food industry, I did launch a project called The Restaurateur. You can catch us at facebook.com/The Restaurateur PH. There we go. As you see on the screen. I established that during COVID-19 pandemic because I knew that a lot of restaurants are going to be struggling with the changes that are going to happen or that has happened. And I put out content there every once in a while, trying to give tips on how to run a business and how to overcome the adversities that you encounter along the way. One last thing though, before we go, I'd just like to thank my family for the support. My brother, may he rest in peace. My business partners for always being there for me, and the love of my life, Camille, who's always been there for me through the years. So thank you.
Wow, great show, bro. Great interview tonight. And again, thank you for taking the time to be here, and appreciate your time, bro. And good luck with everything. And I hope everyone is safe and healthy in your family. Yeah. And of course, again, I'll see you soon. I'll hear from you soon again. All right, brother. Thank you.
Keep in touch, Bob.
All right, there you go. Episode 9, season 2 of the podcast right here in the Fort Project. Of course, this is being presented to us by Puzzle Box BPO, sponsored by the Manila Times, Step Back, Philippine Association of Professional Speakers. And this has been your host, Bob, right here on the Fort Project, where we talk about money, business, and life tonight on TNT. Until next time, good night.